In the quiet before the legal storm that would soon engulf Port Charles, alliances were cracking and old loyalties beginning to waver. What began as a simple divorce filing between Michael and Willow quickly spiraled into something much darker and more personal, a battle not only for custody of children, but for control of truth, loyalty, and identity. And standing at the eye of the storm was Carly Spencer, a mother, a warrior, and above all, a woman who demanded nothing less than absolute truth from those she trusted. When she discovered that Jason Morgan, her most trusted confidant, had been hiding something monumental from her, the already brittle foundations of their relationship began to shake. The revelation was not just any secret, it concerned the paternity of Sasha Corbin's unborn child. Sasha, still reeling from years of heartbreak, addiction, and manipulation, had found fleeting solace in Jason's silent strength. What no one expected was the bond that formed between them behind closed doors, one forged through pain and guarded by secrets. When Sasha became pregnant, the question of the father's identity became more than just gossip. It was a ticking time bomb that could fracture the already fragile web of relationships across the Corinthos family. Jason, always the protector, chose silence. He and Sasha had agreed, no one, especially Michael, could know the truth. Not now. Not when Michael was barely holding on to custody of Wiley and Amelia amid the dissolution of his marriage. Jason believed that the truth, if revealed at the wrong moment, could be used as a weapon against Michael in court. For once, the notoriously straightforward enforcer became a strategist, and his first casualty was honesty. He chose to shield Sasha, himself, and ultimately Michael from the consequences of a truth that could tear everything apart. But Port Charles has never been a town that allows secrets to stay buried for long. Nina Reeves, ever opportunistic and driven by her own sense of justice, or vengeance, began digging. When she uncovered whispers of the truth, she saw her chance to finally shatter the illusions that Carly so carefully constructed. Aligning with Rick Lansing, whose vendetta against Sonny and his family simmered just beneath the surface, Nina provided the ammunition needed to bring the issue into the courtroom. Rick, never one to pass up a legal grenade, was ready to use the revelation of the child's paternity as leverage in the custody battle. It wasn't long before Carly discovered Jason's role in the cover-up. Her confrontation with him was as explosive as expected. Years of trust, built through bloodshed, sacrifice, and unwavering friendship, hung by a thread as Carly demanded the truth she felt entitled to. Jason tried to explain. He spoke of protection, of timing, of the impossible position he had been in. But to Carly, it all sounded like betrayal. She had stood by him through his darkest nights, and now he had kept her in the dark. Jason admitted that he had told Danny the truth, a move that further fueled Carly's fury. If Jason could trust his son with the truth, why not her? The idea that she was deemed too volatile or too unpredictable to handle it only deepened the wound. Carly saw the decision as patronizing, a sign that Jason no longer saw her as a partner but as a liability. And though part of her understood Jason's motives, his instinct to shield Michael from yet another media frenzy or courtroom ambush, it didn't absolve him of the lie. The unraveling of the paternity secret came at the worst possible time. In the middle of the already contentious custody hearings, Rick wasted no time introducing the new information, casting doubt on Sasha's integrity and Jason's motives. The courtroom buzzed with tension as whispered accusations flew and attorneys scrambled to reshape their narratives. Michael, blindsided, was caught between disbelief and fury. His trust in Jason, once unshakable, began to erode as he processed the enormity of the deception. He had leaned on Jason as a father figure, a mentor, a protector, and now, he was forced to question whether that trust had been misplaced. Willow, too, was left shaken. Her already tenuous emotional state worsened as she grappled with the realization that she had not only lost a husband, but had been drawn into a family war where truth was currency and deception a survival tactic. She had hoped for clarity, for justice, for a clean break that would allow her to rebuild. Instead, she found herself at the center of a circus, with her children as the ultimate stakes. Meanwhile, Sasha's world crumbled around her. What had been a private decision between her and Jason was now front-page news and court fodder. Her pregnancy, once a glimmer of new beginnings, became a weapon in a custody war she never intended to influence. She struggled with guilt, not only for lying, but for trusting that silence could protect those she cared about. Now, she was being painted as a manipulator, someone who had schemed her way into the Corinthos family's inner circle. As the fallout spread, Carly's anger transformed. What began as rage became something deeper, an existential reckoning with the people she once thought she knew best. Her role as Michael's mother and Wiley's protector meant she couldn't afford to fall apart, but inside, she was unraveling. She saw the ways power, secrets, and betrayal had crept into every corner of her family. And while she still believed Jason had acted out of loyalty, the trust between them had been irrevocably damaged. The court proceedings dragged on, each revelation more damaging than the last. Rick continued to weaponize every misstep, every secret, turning the hearing into a moral battlefield. But beneath the legal arguments, it was clear that what was truly on trial wasn't just custody, it was the entire Corinthos legacy, their code of silence, and the relationships that had long held them together. The question remained, could truth ever bring healing in a family built on shadows? As the week drew to a close, no verdict had yet been reached, but the consequences of the paternity revelation were already reshaping everything. Jason stood alone, having sacrificed trust to protect those he loved. Carly, heartbroken but unyielding, began to plan her next move, determined to reclaim control over a narrative that had slipped from her grasp. And in the shadows, Nina watched, calculating her next step, knowing that in Port Charles, the truth may hurt, but it's also the sharpest weapon of all.